through all that, you think, hey, this is my last day. I'm leaving. Is there a cake or a party or something like that? He's just like, get the F out of here. He's beating other dudes. The new guy's coming up. He's like, oh, hey, good luck. That kind of deal. So I was like, great. So I joined the Navy to be a Navy SEAL. All right, plain and simple. For those of you who aren't familiar, SEAL stands for Sea, Air, and Land Specialists. Okay, we're the Special Forces Division of the Navy. Marines have MARSOF, Air Force has PJs, CCTs, Army has Green Berets and Rangers, Navy has Navy SEALs. All right. So I'll talk briefly about SEAL training. If you guys want to hear about it, a lot of people are kind of fascinated with it. And I'll put it to you like this. If you're anybody here know any Navy SEALs, you talk to your buddy, you got a Navy SEAL buddy, he's like, yeah, I love buds. It was easy. He's lying. Okay? He's lying. It's the most miserable thing I've ever been through in my entire life. And I'll break it down for you. It's 3 phases, all right? And the first phase is just a gut check. It's a beat down. I like to say, when you wake up in the morning, just spread them and get ready for the kick, all right? That's the only way I can explain it without getting too vulgar. It's just a mental and physical beat down every single day, torture every day, to make sure you have what it takes just to go to follow one training. That's it. 13 weeks. And, guys come and go. That's it. That's when they just, you see them, you don't see them, that kind of deal. And then second phase is our dive phase. All right, it's what separates us from the other special forces is our ability to work underwater. Over 73.24% of the globe's covered in it. We can be anywhere on it, 24 hours. That's our mantra, all right? And I was a scuba diver before I got into the SEAL teams. Are there any divers out here? You know what I'm talking about? Pretty blue water. You probably got somebody beside you that you can see and you like, and there's fish and everything. It's warm. That ain't how it works in our job, all right? I'll say this. You do anything for fun as a civilian, if you have to do it in the military, you'll never do it again for the rest of your life, all right? Because I lived in San Diego and Hawaii and all these great places. My buddies would come out to visit me and be like, hey, let's go to the beach, hang out, and go whatever. I'm like, all right, when we get back to your house, let's go to the office and do some paperwork. But that's the same thing, you know what I mean? Anything can become miserable. It's the craziest thing because my wife is a beach bunny. She loves the beach. And every time she's like, we're going to the beach. I'm like, yay. So, yeah, the diving part of it. I mean, a normal dive for you guys is 60 minutes, 60 feet, right? You press it a little bit, maybe. Normal dive for us is usually 4 to 6 hours. Pitch black water, can't see your hand in front of your face, just kicking out, miserable, cold, and all that stuff. My longest dive while I was in the SEAL teams was 10 hours and 47 minutes, man. Went down and came up, sun was up. Did that multiple times. I'll never get that back. I actually fell asleep and woke up underwater twice. Don't ever do that. I know some of you alphas in here be like, hey man, we're gonna check that out. No. Because I thought I had died and went to hell. I was like, because hell is cold water, right? To me. I'm like, yep, we're dead. And my buddy's like, we were talking through the mouth thing to get real good at that. And he's like, nah, I'm pretty sure we're not dead. I'm like, yeah, this is hell, dude. I know it. And then doing it the second time, I was like, oh yeah, now they're messing with me. But we lose more people in that phase of training than any other phase because being underwater is unnatural to people. People die. Actually, more people die in our training than they do in combat. That's a little hidden gem we keep from you guys. So after that, we go to third phase, and that's weapons and demolition. If there's a weapon system on this planet that our enemy utilizes or maintains or that we operate, we can put it together, break it down, and use it. And then we learn demolition, stuff like that. And then we graduate. Now, when I showed up to SEAL training day 1, week 1, there's 164 guys in my class from all walks of life. Country boys, city boys, collegiate athletes, doctors, lawyers, Wall Street guys. My brother had a Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey balloon clown in his buds class. And I'm not lying. And the reason I know this, because I was running down the beach, I was doing a run, and there was balloon animals for 2.5 miles. And I was like, what's going on, man? He's like, we have a balloon clown in our class, and the instructors found out about it. And they made that joker make balloon animals till he quit. And he's a balloon clown, for God's sakes. I'm like, that ought to give you an idea, man. So we started 164 of us, and then when we graduated, there was 10 of us left, 10 men standing. So my brother had 254 guys in his class, and he graduated with 16 guys. So that gives you an idea of the attrition rate. Well, what this school does and what it's designed to do is forge a bond tighter than any blood bond you'll have with anybody, period. I mean, sometimes I point people out in the audience, like, hey, this your best friend? Be like, yeah. I'm like, why? Why is he or she your friend at all? Why do you even hang out with him? Man, we watch football, we drink. I'm like, you ever been in a tight spot with him? You ever been with him when everything fell apart? I'm not talking about blood flowing yet. I'm just talking about you've been in an uncomfortable situation with this person where they're sitting there looking at you going, man, this is terrible, but I'm not going anywhere, because that's your friend. Everybody's got plenty of friends when everything's good. You want to test somebody's loyalty, you got to get in a bad spot with them. Period. Most of them are going to be family, blood, that kind of thing. What this school does, the minute you step in, you sign that waiver, it's like, hey, you kill me, it's okay. They take everything you were away from you, strip you down, and then they just build you back up to what they want and what they need. And that's exactly what I wanted. Make no mistake about it. There's a lot of guys come back and they're upset about anything. And this is the one thing, if I forget to tell y'all, it's on my mind right now. I don't ever write anything down. Everything I'm fixing to tell y'all comes straight from my heart. All right? I was a dreamer growing up. I mean, I used to pretend I was Spider-Man. I mean, it got weird. Anything I could think of in my head, I would try it, to do it, to accomplish it. Never lose that. Never lose that. And there's one of you sitting in here who know exactly I'm talking to you. That one guy that has that daydreamer, man, just thinks, the world is mine. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to accomplish. No one can hold me back. Never lose that, ever. Not when you get old, nothing. I never lost that to this very day. I'm still, every day when I get up and walk out of my house, it's an adventure. Whether it's a good one or not, that's okay. That's the way I always look at everything. Everything I ever got into the SEAL teams, being shot, captured by the enemy, tortured, man, I never complained about it. I used to daydream about being the one guy that would get into that. And then when I got into it, why would I complain about it? Granted, it was the worst thing I ever been through my entire life, man, but that little voice in the back of my head was happy. He was like, yeah, we're in this. That kind of thing. I mean, when I was going through Hell Week in SEAL training, I looked at my buddies and was like, man, we're in the books. We're in the movies. We're in the documentaries. I was so jacked up about it. And they were like, man, we're in Hell Week. This sucks. We're getting beat. I'm like, yeah, I know. Don't look at something like it's bringing you down. Everything's a test. My dad beat me and my brother probably every day of our life growing up. Everyone's like, well, my dad beat me, so I turned out to be a piece of crap. Well, that's on you, man. That's what willpower is. Everybody has it. Nobody defines you as a man or a woman, period. You are your own keeper. You make the rules. You write. I was telling these guys, man, you let somebody else write your story, it's going to be a story about them, and you're in it. Don't let that happen, ever. That's the most valuable thing I can give you, man. That's all I got. Because when I come in here, I can't change your life, man. I can't tell you something's going to turn you around, make you bad. That's not how I work, man. I'm just standing up here in front of you as a normal guy who's been in every situation I ever wanted to get into, and all I did my whole life was train to get ready for it, mentally and physically. That's what it's all about. Just getting ready for it, man. Be ready. That's life. That's living. It's the peaks and valleys, man. It's the highs and lows. That's what makes the stories we're telling. That's what makes the life worth living, the scars. The good times and the bad ones, man. Yeah, this guy's beating me, I'm down. No, that's a test. He beat me till he couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I kept that my whole life. And then into the SEAL teams, no, my brother and I had a deal. No wife, no kids. All right, man, we were married to that lifestyle. So, I mean, irregardless if there's a war or not, SEALs are doing something, but the wars jumped off when I was a young frogman, so I stayed busy my entire life in that community. And then, what you guys are familiar with is Operation Redwing. All right, that was in 2005 in Afghanistan. I like to tell people, man, that mission was bad. I was one of, I've been in over hundreds. And we lost 19 guys that day, and that's not even the worst casualty hit we took. We had a helicopter get shot down after that. We lost 31 guys, one fell swoop. That was bad. My brother's roommate was on that bird. I'll never forget that phone call. A buddy called me, he's like, hey man, we lost some guys. Like, how many? He's like, 4, I think. Called me back, he's like, it was 7, 9, 12, 15, 17, 22, 29, 30, 31. I mean, a whole night. I was like, hey, serious? God dang, man. It was bad. But to back it up, man, when I got into Afghanistan, just to kind of bring you into my world, I was on a special reconnaissance team, okay? For those of you who aren't familiar with that, basically what that means is a 4-man element, 4 men. Mike Murphy, Danny Dees, Matt Attrition, that was our team, all right? And it was all of our team. I'd come up in the ranks with those guys. I've been with them my whole career. I mean, they're my family. So our job was to do this. They would slip us in under the cover of darkness. We'd either free fall out of an airplane, fast rope out of a helicopter, horseback, Humvee, throw our boots on, and sneak in to the mountains as deep as we could go for weeks, tracking down one guy, the head of the snake. That's who we're after. And we'd find him and sneak into his backyard and set up shop and watch him, anywhere from 6, 10 days usually. Just taking video, taking notes, gaining intel, learning anything and everything I could possibly learn about that guy that I didn't already know. And then at the end of that, we're either kill him or we go down there and snatch him out of there and interrogate him. And whatever I got out of him, I go do something else. And that's how the wheel rolled. That's what I did. And about 3 months into it is when Redwing popped. And basic gist on that was we were going after a HVT, high value target, by the name of Ahmad Shah. I shortened that up for you. It's 15 names. I mean, and he had his own militia at his disposal. All right, they called themselves the Mountain Tigers. I'll never forget we were sitting in the brief like, you guys are going up against the Mountain Tigers. I was like, great. Who gave them that name? Themselves? For those of you who aren't familiar, I like to say this part too, with military call signs and stuff like that. Let me tell you how it works. Okay, it usually starts with the jet jocks. I mean, those are the coolest guys in the military, guys that fly the fighter pilots, all right? You know, they got all the patches on their jackets and the aviators and Top Gun music playing. And all right, yeah. Anybody got any friends in here that are pilots? All right, if you do, ask him what his call sign is. If he tells you his call sign is Viper, nobody likes that guy, okay? If his name is Outhouse, that's the dude you want to hang out with right there. Matter, you want him over your head. What's your name? Crapwater? Yeah, bring him, dude. Because if you don't pick your own call sign. Your buddies do. And if they give you a good one, well, that's all you need to know about that person. That's how military call signs work. So, Mountain Tigers, I was like, yeah, it's going to be fun. Well, we slipped in, insert, it was 4 kilometers. Who's seen the movie? Anybody seen the movie? So, I'll kind of talk about that a little bit. Some of the stuff was reversed in the film. On insert, they dropped us in a snowbank at about 9,000 plus feet. And we inserted 4 kilometers. And it took us about 8.5 hours to do it. That's how bad the terrain was. We found this joker, his village. And I'm going to paint you a couple of pictures in your mind, all right? Imagine a volcano with a bunch of beehives stuck in it, all right? That's what a village in Afghanistan looks like. It's just jammed right up on the side of that mountain. Been there for thousands of years, long before us. It's crazy. I mean, until you see some of them, you're like, well, how do you even get up there? But, no. All right, when 2 mountains slam together and they touch, that area in between the 2 mountains right there is referred to as a draw. Everybody picking up what I'm throwing down? Welcome to the military. It's not that hard. So, man, we got into our position, and we're at the top of the mountain now, about 10,000 plus feet. Me and Danny had walked to the ledge. I put my boot right on the ledge of it, and about 7,000 feet below us was our village, just jammed up in there. Well, right underneath us was a grove of trees, about 150 meters down the mountain, about 320 meters wide. After that, it turned into green grass, probably 100 meters. The 2 ridge lines swung together, rolled back out, finished the volcano, if you will, and then there was that village. So we just rappelled down into these trees, set up shop, triangle formation. I was at the top, Axe was right here, Danny was right here, and Mikey was right underneath me. Top of the mountain was about 30 feet above my head, all right? The reason we moved from position to position is because we couldn't see 2 or 3 of the houses in the village. And Murphy's Law dictates that that's where that joker is going to be. So we had to move and get eyes on. That's our job. Eyes on target. Before anything else happens, you got to have eyes on. We got up onto this, paint you another picture. Any kind of formations that come off the sides of mountains in the military are referred to as fingers. All right? Everybody, a peninsula, if you will. All right? Well, we got up on top of the mountain, started walking down this finger. It's a peninsula. It's about 300 meters, whatever. And it dropped off. I'll never forget it. There was a trail. And there's a big stump right here. It's all burned up and hollowed out. Bushes around it. Well, Matt Attrition, I'll refer to him as Axe. He was our primary sniper. It's his job to eliminate the threat. He laid up right there. Now, the tree that came from the stump was laying right beside it. We think we were in a logging area because most of the bigger trees have been cultivated. One of the ways Afghans make money is they're loggers, all right? So we thought we were in a logging area. And just for anybody who's not familiar with this story, I'm going to talk about dying. If that's going to affect anybody, then, I mean, you know. Well, I laid down parallel next to that tree, cocked my body around, pulled myself up, I rolled my rifle up. I could see everything. I was his spotter. And Mikey got to my left in some rocks about 50 meters, and Danny was right behind me, 12, 15 feet, right on the other side of that finger. I remember he had the only piece of shade on the mountain, which is a big deal. During daytime, 115, 120 degrees. At night, it wasn't bad. It was 3. Or negative, because it would rain on us. So, I mean, that was one of the gnarliest things to deal with. Anyways, in the movie, they had this reversed. I don't know why Pete did that. Hey, you're my girl right there. Keep an eye on the time, because I'll get up here rambling, all right? If I go over, do this. I don't even know how long I've been up here. I haven't been up here a long time, have I? Man, I get twisted in this story. I'm sorry. Where's I at? I don't want to keep you, I don't want to